What's up, everybody? This is Dejan Amon.
What up? What up? Welcome back to the show. This is Eric Henderson.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about a situation that is near and dear to our hearts right now and has affected the nation twice, but Chicago twice. Looting. And most of the looting that is happening is due to police shootings. The first one that we experienced, of course, was with George Floyd, and that was nationwide. And then the second one was a shooting of a 20-year-old that goes by the name of Allen. Latrell Allen, and he was shot because they said he exchanged fire with the police. Now, with the case, they are dealing with some like misinformation and whatnot on like the age they said the person was. But as far as they can tell, that the person was actually shooting back at the police. Mr. Allen was shooting back at the police. So now what the city is faced with is shutting down the city, and specifically downtown, because that's what looters are targeting.
Yeah, it was interesting. Honestly, when I first saw it, man, I laughed a little bit. You can tell the people, but it was a social media post from Facebook, and they blurred out the person's name, and it was like, attention. Looting start at 12 a.m. tonight. We will not be blanking up the south side, east side, or west side, downtown area, and up north area only. Bring your tools, ski masks, and goggles. Hashtag let's go. So obviously from the last, because you mentioned the last looting, and that's when they did a lot of looting in the south side, the west side, and that's where a lot of people, everywhere, and that's where people live at. And a lot of people, especially the Black community, it was like, why would you do that? You're harming your own community. And it's like, we're already at a disadvantage in this United States of America. And it's like, you putting us in an even deeper hole. And then the small businesses, that's why me and you had an exchange, and we had to understand each other's viewpoints, because I was once at a point like, yeah, looting, let's do this. But then you have to step back and see the bigger purpose.
Yeah. And then I was like, looting is not the answer, because small businesses and stuff are being hit. And especially on the south side, most businesses you could say are small business or Black owned, and they're getting their shops and their stores torn up and don't probably have insurance, or don't have to have as much insurance as these franchises like Walmart.
Yeah. But you putting people at a disadvantage. It's like, I said that post because it's just like, it's crazy how we can come together at the instance of this shooting, which is terrible. But when you see if we can come together for this, we can come together for a lot of things. What me and you had discussed is redirecting like energies. And I want to like stop us and like talk about that for a second, because it's just like we have these emotions, and like we all have these feelings, and people have ideas, but we need to redirect it in a way that is beneficial, not only to ourselves, but then to the people around us. Because we see when we do these actions like looting and all that, it doesn't just affect ourselves, it affects everybody around us. So it's just like, I don't know what you thinking about that idea.
I mean, of course, redirection is the way. I was feeling that way the last time it happened. George Floyd had his neck nailed on, and the Minnesotians took their approach by burning down a precinct where that officer worked at. Now, I believe that was radical, but it was necessary. It got the message across, like we were mad at the police. Now, when you go and loot and riot and take your frustrations out on businesses and stuff like that, you are not going to the problem. It's like someone saying you have a toe cancer, but you chop off a hand. It doesn't work that way. Like, we understand that you dismembering the body, but it's like you're not getting at what it should be about. Are you doing is saying, okay, police need more action. We need to spend more tax dollars on protecting these places. Because once you start looting stuff, more police are going to be there. So we saying defund the police, but police are being added to protect the city even more.
Absolutely. And I think that's why a lot of people had moved on to that ideology of defunding the police, because they realized after that first instance of everybody doing all of the looting and stuff, we're still at a place in this society where we have to still call the police if something bad goes on. And it's just like people thought about that, and then the terminology changed, and it was like, I defund the police, and then people actually got behind that. And you can understand that because of all of the budget cuts that happen within like our local governments, where they like, all right, I'm gonna cut these educational funds, I'm gonna cut these city taxes or whatever. They're giving all these people tax write-offs and all of that, and then they're putting that money back to somewhere, and it's just like either in their pockets or they're funding the police and law enforcement to militarize it more. And it's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but then also like with the looting, it's getting too close to home. Like many businesses are boarding up, as people can see, and I was taking out my cousin yesterday because she is currently moving to the Hyde Park area. But every shop that you're supposed to go to and around, like even around the South Side, because they're scared that they're going to loot the South Side, is closed. So, we went to 3 different Walmarts between between Bronzeville, Stony Island, and Calumet City, where all the Walmarts in that area, and they all closed, being blocked off and barricaded by police. So we can't even get the things that she needs to move into this place. Now, say if she had a baby or a child who needed diapers, formula, she needed to eat, she needed to get something, she couldn't get it.
I feel you. And when you had mentioned that she's moving to like the Hyde Park area, from that post, he was like, we're not messing up the South Side, the East Side, and the West Side. So then they was like, we're only doing downtown and North Side. And then that creates this image within the society and those people that live in Chicago, the North Side, downtown area, and then those around West, South, and East Side, that these people that come from these areas are dangerous because they're going up to these areas and they're causing all of these problems. And then that creates this image that, the people that's from these areas, now you can't mess with them, and that's harming the people that come from there, because we still have to go out into those areas and get jobs. And like, it was one of the interviews from the ABC 7 News in Chicago. It was like, one of the guys was like, yeah, people are like employed by these businesses, so they hurt themselves because they have to still provide for their families. And it's like, when you're in a tough situation, you can't do anything to put yourself in the hole even more. It's you got to put the shit down sometime.
So what we're trying to say is that redirection is the way. Protest in front of the police, take it down to, like, do not burn out a business, but go and take that energy where it is needed to be. If it's a police accountability or the defunding of the police, it should be there, not burning a central store that is needed by many families.
Exactly.
Or taking jobs from people who need to work for their day-to-day meal.
All right. And to speak on that, to add on, one of the key things is then, if we want to defund the police within that, we have to then also talk with the police to let them know why we're doing this. And we have to be accountable for our actions as well. We can't keep going around and being like, okay, we gonna do this crazy, this whatever fiasco event, and then be like, oh, no, this ain't happened. We have to be accountable for these things. One overall message that we want to get to you all is, like we said, redirect that energy. There has been protests outside of the police precincts and all those buildings or within Black Lives Matter movement that was protesting and trying to voice their opinion to get these looters out of prison. Yes, that is awesome, but also we can just redirect that energy and tell people, hey, don't loot. And then we're going to still go protest and tell that these officers and that this system is unjust and they're not doing the right things, and they need to be responsible for their actions just as well as we need to be responsible for our actions. So it's just a matter of, yes, we need to redirect this energy, but we need to keep people accountable for their actions. And then in turn, we need to be accountable for our actions as well. You got anything you want to leave the people with, or we gonna leave it like that? Just leave it with a little spice, drop mic type thing.
We can leave it where it's like, you need to subscribe, comment, like, share.
Yeah.
thegreyarea.talk, gray spelled with an E, and the email is the same. If you have any questions or concerns, we can leave them with that.
All right, peace.